we're bigger and better than ever. Today we're talking about how much dating is too much dating. Does it sound strange? If it does, then maybe you just don't know what dating is, and so it's good that you're watching this. Welcome to Citi Scape on Citi TV. My name is Apioko. Hi, Emifa.
Hi, doll.
Don't you look as cute as a kitten? Meow.
Oh,
meow. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm so rested. I love a good holiday.
Great. I mean, today we're back at Citi FM, our home. But this time we just decided, why not just be in our natural habitat? So if you see people walking behind us, we're at Citi, people are coming in like they usually do to go to the reception. We're just chilling. Yeah, just have, what did you, tell them what we had for lunch.
I had 2 coffee.
Yes. Serious 2, should I see Emma?
Oh my God.
Serious 2. But anyway,
How's
like,
Kevin?
you were. I have pictures, I have footage of you. Yeah, I do. I'll share it with you guys. But before that, we're talking about how much dating is too much dating. MFA, I think we should start by defining what dating is. I feel like in our culture, once we say dating, it means there's a man and a woman or some 2 people in a relationship and then they're dating.
Yeah.
But you and I both know that dating is just one of the stages that you go through when you're dealing
Like in a
with somebody. Yes,
relationship.
romantically. Okay.
Can I even say one of the stages of a relationship?
Yeah.
I think everyone has a different definition to dating. To me, it's just the preliminary stage, trying to suss out whether you can have a long-term relationship with someone. It doesn't mean you're in a relationship with the person. That's why it's okay to date more than one person.
Yeah.
I mean,
So you're basically at that stage just assessing the other
you're
person.
just assessing the person.
Is his nose too big?
Yeah.
If you married him and you woke up and you saw it, would you shout, what's this?
Oh my God. Not even like just being in a social setting with
Yeah.
the person, just how you interact with the person, whether or not I can sit through dinner with this person, or whether or not I can just go get ice cream with that person. That's a date.
Is this person the kind of person you want to introduce to your family, to your closest friends? Will you be embarrassed to have him or her around?
I think even that should be like the later stages. I think thinking about your family and all that stuff should come when you think you can be in a relationship with this person. But I think dating is just a preliminary stage, you know. Some people just choose to be sexually active with the people they're dating because that's very important to them, to know if they have sexual chemistry. But I mean, it's up to you.
So I agree with you. I do think that dating is the preliminary stage for getting into something of a relationship with someone, a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
And I think we've said this before, that from dating you'd probably move on to being steady or going steady, being in a serious relationship with one person. Okay, and then maybe you progress to courtship that should lead to marriage, and then you end up in marriage. But I think in our culture we skip steps. So yes, there are a lot of men and women who are dating people, but they think they're in serious relationships with the people. The people don't think so.
Oh, so you think dating isn't necessarily a part of our culture?
No.
Like, okay, so you're supposed to assess from a distance whether or not you think you can be with this person.
And yes, of course, by all means, go out to dinner, go to some goods market that's happening in town, go watch a play. Now there are lots of plays. Go see a movie at any of the malls, go shopping together, hang out. By all means, do that together. But all the while trying to get to know the other person and seeing whether he or she is suitable for you. I feel like a lot of the time you don't do that.
Well, do you know what? I think here, once you're seen with a boy, like if you're a woman, once you're seen with a man, people assume that you guys are together. So I guess the dating stage here is where people are like, oh, this is my friend. Or, you know, when they introduce them as, you know, their close friends or whatever, that's when they're sussing out. That's when they're dating, I guess. But I see what you mean. Yeah, because people usually assume once they see you with a person of the opposite sex that you guys are going steady.
Yeah, and I think that sometimes that gets into people's heads.
No, but the thing with that as well is people tend to lead people on. So I think you should always be clear with this situation. I remember when I was single and I was dating, you know, healthily dating, should I put it. I was very clear, you know, I'm not just dating you, I am seeing other people as well. This is nothing serious for now. Once I feel it's serious, I mean, I will let you know. Maybe I'm just too honest and I have no filter. But I think you should definitely
But you see, a lot of the times when you're dating, I mean, some people, it's a choice. Some people do choose to have sexual relations with people they're dating. But a lot of the time, you're not having anything sexual with the people you're dating. It's really just hanging out a lot of the time. Like I said, other people have different ways of. But even so, the parameters and mapping out those parameters is very important.
Yeah, definitely.
Not just for you, but it's just only respectful to the other person.
Just don't assume. Don't assume that just because a guy takes you out, that you guys are all of a sudden together and he's not talking to other people. Like, be realistic.
Yeah, so if you see a text on his phone, then you start misbehaving.
Like, from where? In what capacity? You guys are not together.
And then when he says, oh, but you are not my girlfriend, then
they
you're
get
upset.
upset. I mean, but you haven't actually qualified what it is you guys are doing. So I think definitely have the conversation. Establish what dating is to you. Have the conversation with whoever it is you're dating or looking to be exclusive with. But at what point does that get too much, though?
Exactly. I think that there's, even before we talk about exactly how much is too much and moving on to the exclusive bit, I feel that a lot of people don't know who they are. And so even in the whole dating scene, you don't know what you're looking for.
Yeah, you don't know what kind of situation you want.
You've watched
Some
TV,
people want,
you think, oh, this guy looks great, I want a guy like that. Or, oh, this is how I want my woman to be.
But can you handle a guy
exactly.
like that? Yeah.
Because this is real life we're talking about. You see something, I'm sure later on we'll be talking a little more about social media and dating and all that. But you see a couple on social media, oh, couple goals, relationship goals.
No, they're not my goals.
Yeah, whose goals?
Yeah, I mean, I see people camping in the cold in Wales, and people put couple goals.
And that's not.
I went camping in Wales. I wouldn't want to go with someone I love, and no way.
Whose goals?
No.
So I think even before you get into the whole dating thing, people don't really realize who they are, and because of that, they don't know what they're looking for when they're dating.
Yeah.
And
even if they want to date, whether they should be dating.
in the first place. Have you worked on yourself enough to start dating? And that is why people start just dating and hanging out, and then they get so clingy because they're looking for someone to complete them
rather than to compliment them.
Exactly. Precisely so. Oh, yes, too smart. It's too smart. I love you. I love you. but having said that, but how many people? It's too many people to be dating at once, in your opinion?
I don't know. I think it depends on the individual. Like I said, at one point in my life, back in the day, I was dating multiple people. This is when I was completely single. But I think once it starts to get overwhelming, and this is what I did. When I was ready, and when I was tired of seeing, different sorts of people, I actually prayed. And I said to God that whoever's not meant to be in my life should not be in my life. Right. And like flies, they all started to sort of fade away, and I was left with one person, and that's the person I've been with for a very, very, very long time. But I think it depends on you. If you start feeling overwhelmed and you think, you need to take a breather, it goes back to getting to know yourself. If you're starting to feel icky, you need time alone, you need your own space, then do it. I mean, I don't know why people always feel the need to have someone in their lives. Yeah. I love my space way too much. It's almost on the opposite end of the spectrum where I love my company way too much. So you should know exactly what you want and make sure that at the end of the day you are happy. You're not in a relationship where you should even start, compromising or bending over backwards for other people, but make sure that you're happy in whatever space that you're in before you include other people in that situation.
I agree with you. So you're watching Citi Scape on Citi TV. Emma and I are just having a chat about how much dating is too much dating. We've spoken a bit about what dating is, how many people you could comfortably date at one time, blah, blah, blah. But, the conversation continues.
Second Image International admissions in progress. Courses available include hairdressing, beauty therapy and fashion. Call us on 0243 331 999. Evening and weekend classes are also available. So,
MFA, before the break, you you spoke about how at a certain point in your life, you had all these people that you were seeing.
Don't say it like
no,
that.
Well, it's not a bad
all
thing.
these people.
It's not a bad thing. It just means you're a hot cake.
It wasn't a
It just means you're a hot cake.
It wasn't a football
It just means you're a hot
It was
cake.
just a handful of people.
Okay, she had a handful of
Nothing
people.
serious.
She had a handful
Nothing
of guys
serious.
nothing serious, just trying to get to know who they were. They were trying to get to know who you were, I presume, as well, and trying to see what worked for you as far as relationships are concerned, right? Because at some point you prayed, and God sort of showed you who you needed to be with at that time, and the person is the person you're with. I mean, so many years down the line. Yeah, we're not going to mention his name, but yeah. But
anyways,
you raised a very important point. At what point do you stop dating and you know that it's the right time to get into a serious relationship and be exclusive with one person? I also went through that phase where, I mean, there are lots of guys around, and I mean, different. So there's a younger guy who is really intelligent and really fun, and you feel like, oh, he's closer to me in age, so maybe this is what I want. Then there's the older guy who you feel like you gel with on an intellectual level, and
all those guys,
and he seems like
all those plenty men.
They weren't plenty, but there were a number of them. Okay, but I feel like at that point you do need some kind of advice, and a lot of the time that advice tends to be spiritual. You might not necessarily be Christian or Muslim or believe in any faith per se, but just sitting down, even if it's meditating and connecting with the inner you,
inner self,
yes,
yeah.
and trying to find out, like, what do I need? And it's not always about what you want. I keep saying this, that too many people, both men and women, tend to chase after what they want or what they think they need when it comes to a relationship.
Yeah.
What you need is different from what you want a lot of the time.
Okay.
What you need is different from what you want, and sometimes you do need to get to that spiritual place to.
But do you always need to date with the aim of being in a relationship? Can't you just?
No. I mean, I
date
had
for the
that
fun of
phase
it?
as well much earlier, where I was just dating for fun, and at that point too, it was nothing sexual. It was just basically hanging out with people. I enjoyed their company. And I wanted to spend more time with these people in particular than other people who were around me or in my circles. No, but no, I wasn't sleeping over at their houses, nothing like that.
Not even,
They're not the only people I was texting, but I
just
just
having
enjoyed
that
their
sort of
company.
emotional bond and feeling like you owe this person a sense of loyalty. I don't think you always have to date with that aim. No. It's not always necessarily what you need or what you think you need. Sometimes it's okay to just be with someone because you want to.
It is, but at this point, because we're talking about being at that point where you realize or where you know that it's time to move on to a serious relationship. So now, like you said, like flies, the other guys, fly away, float away, and you're settling with this one person. When do you know that it's time to do that for you?
For me, like I said earlier, I like my own company quite a bit. One of my friends actually had to sit me down and say, Emma, human beings are social creatures, we're social beings. You cannot spend all this time on it. I know, just a tad. No, but I entertain. You know me. I like to entertain myself. Not in a weird way. Anyway, but for me personally, when I know that I am ready to not necessarily be in a relationship, but to take our dating a bit more seriously, is when I enjoy spending significant amounts of time with that person. Because obviously I'm comfortable spending a significant amount of time on my own. When I know that I would rather spend it with this person, when I'm looking forward to spending time with this person, when I always want to be around this person, even if we fall out, I want to make sure that, we can sort it out so that we can hang out. That's when I know that we have something special. It's all about that unspoken chemistry. When you're comfortable, when the person makes you laugh, that's really important for me. When I'd rather spend time with you than do things that are important to me, then I know that you're worth spending time with.
You're ready to let somebody else into your space.
Yeah.
And I know you've spoken specifically about what works for you, but I think that's a general rule of thumb, that when you're about ready to become exclusive with someone, you just realize that that person has one way or another become a part of your world, and you're
okay with that.
You're okay with it.
Yeah.
So it's not like the person texts, oh, this guy too, he's texting me too much. He's talking.
Even though that sometimes happens when
yeah,
you're
they're actually
in a
looking forward to that
relationship.
conversation,
Yeah.
looking forward to hanging out with him. That's not to say that you don't want that space, but you know, you're happy having him or her in your space.
Yeah.
He or she is happy being there too, and somehow you're building something together. It's no longer just about you or about him or about her. Okay, we've come to the end of part 1 of this episode, talking about how much dating is too much dating. We've covered quite a lot. I mean, you can play this over and over again. Get into the comments down below. Just let's have this conversation, because MFA and I feel like it's really something that our society needs to focus on. We feel as though there's a reason why a lot of people aren't happy in relationships and marriages, and maybe it's because your dating foundation was very shaky from the beginning. So see you next week in part 2 of this topic.